Gluten morning bread buddies, how are we doing? How's your week been? Let me know in the comments what your peak of the week has been. Welcome to a brand new vlog, and this week we're going to be hosting. We're going to be hosting a Halloween dinner party. We're a part of a group with two other couples where we call each other Soiree 6, and we essentially take it in turns every couple of months or so to host, and we then try and do one social a year that's going out in London, going out for dinner and doing some sort of like activity like the beer pong or the darts, something like that. And it's our turn to host, and I'm so excited. Because it's Halloween, I said to Lawrence, let's do murder mystery. Never done murder mystery before. I've never been to a murder mystery, so I don't actually know what to expect massively. I'm planning it all myself. I'm not using a kit or anything, so I'm going to walk you through everything that I'm doing for it. I have utilised ChatGPT a lot for it. I tried to not, but then it was just too difficult, and it does just give you all the answers. I'm fully aware of issues that it can create. I'm fully aware that it isn't the best thing for the environment, so I'm trying to use it very conscientiously, but I have used it to help with this, and it has been brilliant. But hopefully, me showing you this, it could give you some ideas to do on yourself if you're thinking of doing it, and not need to use that platform. But before I get on and do some stuff like that, I'm gonna make some breakfast. Something we accidentally prepped this week because we had a load of carrots to use up following the Superdrug supper club that we did. I thought, okay, let's do a curried carrot soup with it. And then with that, I thought, oh, you need to have some sort of like toasty or something. And Lawrence was popping out, so he was able to go to the Middle Eastern shop that I've talked about here before. I'll link it below again if you live like near to where I live. So I said, why don't you go to that Middle Eastern shop? They've got an amazing butcher's, so you can get some ground mutton or lamb, and you can get one of those massive flatbreads, the same ones that we used for the supper club. Then we can make almost like a open face keema naan to go with the spiced carrot soup. So we did that. I've got some of the leftover bread here. They're massive. They're like £2.50, and like it was this big. Something we accidentally prepped, because I think a lot of people will prep dinners, lunches, and have a whole thing obviously already done, so you just heat that up. But Lawrence made way too much of the lamb mince. He got 1 kilogram. When they said, how much do you want? He was like, I don't know, like this much. So he got 1 kilogram of mince. So we had a lot of lamb mince left over, and Lawrence had spiced all of the mince. I think he added tomato puree. There's some chopped onions in there that I can actually see. It looks like there's a curry leaf in there as well. I think he also put in some tandoori masala powder. We have a tub in our cupboard called Spice Blend, or it's like Salt Spice Blend, where it's like various different salts that I've been sent by brands that we just combined into one. So there's that in this as well. I think that's everything. And this has been so useful to have in the fridge to make various different things and it not be then overcooked when you reheat it again. So we had it on top of the naan bread as a scoop up with the soup. I then crumbled it into a pan and cooked it off with a fried egg and some sweet potato, and had it as like a breakfast bowl the other day. What else have I done with it? I'm going to make a shakshuka as well, and again crumble it into the base of the shakshuka. I'm going to make a toasty right now with it and that bread. What else have we got planned? Oh yeah, we're going to do like a brothy chickpea kind of like stew tomorrow night or tonight. We haven't really decided. Originally I was going to get some lamb that I've got out of the freezer, but now I thought I can just roll these into tiny little bite-sized meatballs and put them in there. If you had like gnocchi, you could do like a gnocchi dish. It's been, oh, I did a stir fry as well. I did an Indian inspired stir fry with it. So I just fried it off, bit of rice, some curried tender stem broccoli, some peas. What else did I put in that? I think that might have been it. So kind of like an Indian stir-fried rice, which was so good. Yeah, accidentally stumbled across something that I think we'll do again. Prepping something, but leaving it raw and then just cooking it when you need it. It's been very helpful. So I'm gonna crack on, do a little bit of breakfast. I've got a little bit of work that I need to do, some emails and some work for some brands. Then I'll bring you in to my office and I'll talk you through how I've planned this murder mystery. time. I'll show you what I put into ChatGPT and then the kind of bits that I'm going to start playing around with. I put in this prompt here. So I essentially said that I'm planning a murder mystery for Halloween party. What I was looking to get out of what I needed from ChatGPT. I'm particularly interested in how to set out the clues for people, make sure it's fun, not a chore. And I said how many of us there are, and that I'm happy to be the host for the evening and navigate the people and where to go, and that I think I should be the one to be murdered. And then I explained what our space was like, that we have an open place kind of living area and kitchen, that we have some spare bedrooms, studios. There's an opportunity here for ChatGPT to work out where clues could be left. And then I put here what I think. I won't say what it is out loud because Lawrence is in the other room, can probably hear, and I don't want him to know the answer. And then I said what I thought the murder weapon could be. So I literally just did that as a prompt. So I think first of all, it's probably worth saying to the platform how many people there's going to be there. If you've got an initial idea and way that you want to be, like, create a theme in your head. If you're really not sure, then it can help you with that as well. But if you've got an idea of how you want it to be, that's a good starting point. And then from there, I got an overall structure sent to me and how that could all work. And we kind of just flowed from there, me and ChatGPT having a conversation. So it went through and it said this. We've got the overall structure here saying like before dinner, during dinner, after dinner. So that's just like the general like structure of it. Then we talked about, then it gave me the murder setup here, and it gave me a list of suspects that we could start playing with. And then also it gave me some clues as well as to what we could dot around and then how the reveal of it would go. And then just some ideas about how to make it fun, not a chore, because that's something that particularly Lawrence was worried about, or is worried about it being too much and it taking over for the evening. So just keeping it quite a light one. I think with murder mysteries, you can go as intense as you want or as relaxed as you want. And it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I think if you have more people, it's probably better to do a more intense one. And I'd probably love to do this with like 12, 15 people and really go into it. It's a nice little like tester to see. So then from that, I basically asked ChatGPT, do you have any like red herring clues that I could include? How to encourage people to go into certain rooms as well. And it gave me some ideas for that in terms of putting certain like food in areas and things like that. But I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it even lighter. I think if we were doing a whole evening where it was just murder mystery, but this is essentially just an extra element to us hosting. We're still going to play some other games and the hosting is the main thing. So the whole evening isn't we're just doing murder mystery. If you were to do that, then having that set up would work quite nicely. But because of how we want to do it, I thought I'm going to make it slightly easier for people and make it more of a Cluedo style game, and I'm going to create a map where I'm going to put like blood splats on the map as to where clues are, so people will just find them quite quickly, and hopefully that'll be a nice way of doing it and keeping it so that it's not too long-winded. And then I asked who actually did it out of the people, because that's the other thing. I was like, do people know who the murderer is? I think typically you can kind of do whatever you want, but from what ChatGPT said is that you know if you are the murderer. And I do think with people acting out roles, it's probably better for someone to know that they are the murderer so that they can really try and like, kind of like traitors, like try and throw people off the scent. I think if you don't know, then I don't know, like it could become a little bit difficult to keep with the flow of the evening. So I will be telling the person, and I think I'm gonna like give them a little like pack to say, you're the murderer, essentially. So then we went through who the murderer is. It gave me the answer to that. It said who the murderer is, where to put some of the clues, and it just gave me suggestions and ideas of what to do. So there are a few clues that I think are really great. So try and keep quite quiet so Lawrence doesn't hear me. So a bloody handkerchief with the initials of the murderer hidden somewhere, as if in like they've cleared up the murder, a receipt for the murder weapon. Lawrence has designed some gravestones to go outside. He's made them out of all like cardboard bits. He's like drawn them all. So I asked him to write something on one of the gravestones, which is quite handy as well, because then Lawrence knows that people will know through the map that I'm going to give them, but Lawrence also knows, there's a clue outside, so I'm going to have to like potentially guide people outside to see what that clue is. So there's going to be a clue on one of the gravestones. There's also going to be a letter in my office that's going to be quite incriminating. Also, we're going to see if we can go to some charity shops to try and find a handkerchief so we can do a bloody handkerchief. Could there be something like an appraisal note or something from the design, like from me to the butler? I wonder if I could have something like a note pinned to the fridge door, maybe. I'm really excited to see if people will get it, because I'm like, is this obvious? I don't really know. Then it was just a case of fleshing out the characters. So I had an idea for each of the characters. I wanted everyone to be able to have a theme that they could come dressed as. So I was just kind of like playing around with how can they be dressed? What's their character traits? Can you write out character cards for me? So they literally wrote down like what their motive is, what their alibi is. It's been really, really good to utilise all those things. So yeah, essentially I worked out what a theme was, I worked out what the flow was going to be for the evening, then I worked out with ChatGPT what the clues are going to be, we worked out the in-depth character cards, what those are going to be. I think that's everything that we essentially got to that I needed to be able to perform this evening. So now it's just a case I'm going to start designing some of the clues. And I think I'm actually also going to ask if it can design some of the character cards. I'm going to see if I can find something on Pinterest. I use Pinterest a lot when I'm doing menu designs, and I think that it's going to really help with this too. Kind of like this. That's quite fun. That's good. So I might screenshot that and put that into ChatGPT and be like, right, can you help me create now the character cards? The front door has also just gone, and I think this is the makeup that I've ordered. So I think I've talked about this before, but I'm actually a trained makeup artist, and I mostly specialise in theatrical and film makeup. I haven't done it in about 13 years, a long time, but it was like my favourite thing, like doing all like the blood and gore. I gave away a lot of my makeup kit. One of Lawrence's friend's daughters wanted to get into it, so I wasn't using my makeup kit. I gave it to her years ago. So I thought I could repurchase a few things to be able to do. I want to do a slit on my throat, I think, because also the dress that I'm wearing is a boob tube dress. Hopefully this is everything to do that. I'll probably do a tutorial of this over on both Instagram and TikTok. It is relatively easy once you know how. It's not the hardest thing, and the products that you need aren't super expensive. This company was so good as well. I sent them an email after I ordered it being like, because it says like, you know what it's like when it says like postage is going to be 5 working days or whatever. And I was like, can you send it any sooner than that? And they just emailed me back being like, yeah, not a problem. And it's literally come within a couple of days. Okay, so we've got a couple of options here. I've never used these before, but I thought this could be a good option. So I could put that on my chest there. So essentially you stick that on using adhesive that you get here, which is probably this one here. And then you can cut away that bit of flesh like around the edge, and then just fill the cuts with congealed blood. They've packaged this so well. Yeah, so it's called Spirit Gum. This is actually the remover. What's the name of this company? This was the name of the company. But I'm pretty certain you can get all of this on Amazon as well, but I'll link this stuff here below. Okay, so this is Spirit Gum, and that's what you would attach this with. And then cut away that edge bit, so all that edge bit would stick down, and then you literally just fill it with fake congealed blood from then. And then there'll probably be residue left on you, so that's why you have the Spirit Gum remover. I did also get some liquid latex as well. I haven't used liquid latex in a really long time, well, yeah, 13 years. But this is quite good to then build around the edges to really secure down those edge bits there. I don't know if I'll even need the liquid latex. So then we have some blood gel and the congealed blood. And you won't need much of it either. It goes a long way. And we also have some normal blood, like fresh blood, so I can like drip it down. Oh, I'm very excited. It's been so long since I've played around with something like this. It's just generated an image. Let's see what the character card looks like and if it actually fits what I was hoping. Oh, yeah. I mean, that is perfect. That is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm going to download this and then get the generations done for the rest of them. The brief for that one, just so I read it out for you, you can see how good it was. So this is for Eliza Raven Harrow Rose. She is a brooding gothic fashionista, head designer to the underworld elite, all dark lace, smouldering resentment to the victim. Look and feel, think Morticia meets high fashion. Long black gloves, bold statement jewellery, dark moody makeup, vampire chic. I think it's absolutely nailed that. Like, that's perfect. Great, okay, so the character card's all done. After that, I'm just going to design on Canva, and I won't use ChatGPT for this. I'll just design a few things like we've already got the gravestone, that's all done. I just need to do a letter to go into the office, a note to be pinned to the fridge, which all can be like handwritten. So we'll do that, and then I need to design the map as well of where all the clues are. I just had a really good idea for one of the clues. So we'll do it on the fridge, the note that I was saying about. But another thing that I was thinking I could do is to have my recipe box as a clue on the map. But within this, we could do a poison cocktail. So that's what the butler was going to be planning to serve. So we'll do that. That's such a good idea. I'm very happy about that. Little check-in for you guys. It's taken a little bit longer than I thought, and I did need to utilise, or I have needed to utilise Lawrence for a few things. So I've done all the character cards now. I didn't actually realise this, but ChatGPT stops generating images after a certain amount of time until you pay for the premium package or whatever. So I kind of used one of the cards as a template and then duplicated it for the rest, and then just went on Pinterest and found images of characters that would kind of fit it. So here's on the clues here. So this is a letter that I'm going to have on my desk. So his motive is that he's not going to be a part of the victim's business anymore. So that letter is all designed there. So these are everyone's character cards, an image that kind of looks what I hope they're going to come looking like. No idea. I've given them a brief, so we'll see how they turn out compared to this. So they'll get these cards along with a map showing where each of the clues are. And on those, you've got the link to the victims. They can see what their link is, what their motive would be, and what their alibi is. I've just done that for each of them. And then I've asked Lawrence to create a fake receipt for one of the clues. He's also going to create the recipe card that I was just telling you guys about. And the last thing that he's going to do is he's going to do an auction card, like tag, that's going to be on the murder weapon. Good morning, guys. It's 9 AM and I have had a whole morning. I was actually annoyed about this to begin with. I had a doctor's appointment at 7:20. I need to get new blood work done for my next Rocketane appointment, and the only appointment they had within the next couple of weeks was 7:20 AM this morning. And at first I was like, are you serious? 7:20? But I've managed to have literally a whole day of things by 9 AM because of it. So I've been to the doctor's, had my blood test, and oh my god, there's a certain nurse at my doctor's. I love her so much. She actually lives in my village as well. She's recently bought a house there and we're just yapping. We're the problem. You know, when there's a delay to your appointment, you're sat in the waiting room going, I've been waiting here for 20 minutes. I'm sorry, it's probably because of me, because I was yapping along, and I always do that. So I had my blood test done, and then I went straight to Waitrose, did the whole shop for the dinner party. I've got a few bits that I need to get from Sainsbury's and from the Asian supermarket. And now I'm literally heading into the library just as it opens, so we can print all our clues for the murder mystery. I'm gonna like have a whole day of things done by 11 AM, so it's great. I really need to get myself a printer. That is gonna cost like £21 to print off everything. It also, doesn't it make such a difference when you just have a really nice chat with people and people are genuinely really lovely. The woman at the library there, I had to send everything over to their main computer to print off, and she was like, this looks good, is this a murder mystery? I was like, it is a murder mystery. And then she was looking at our menus and she was like, what's chicken foot pie? I was like, oh, okay, well I need to go to Central Oriental Asian supermarket now to go buy chicken feet because they're going to be in the pie. She was saying that her dad, he eats chicken feet all the time, and she was telling me like where exactly in Central Oriental I need to go to secure chicken feet. It makes such a difference when just have a chat with someone, like someone genuinely is really nice and wants you to have a really good day. I have two people now, the lovely nurse at the doctor's and the lovely librarian. What a day. This is the main reason we're here. We're getting chicken feet. So my plan for the main is, and this could be risky because I don't know how people are actually going to respond to this, but we're going to do a chicken pie, beautiful like bacon, carrots, maybe some mushrooms in there, tarragon. Into the pastry on the top, I'm going to stick in some cooked chicken feet. It's going to be more for aesthetics than anything, but it is a bit of a risk because I hope that everyone's going to be okay with that. It's going to be gnarly, but I think it'll be really good. There are pig's trotters. We could have done that. That could have been probably a little bit too far. But yeah, we'll see. Good morning, guys. It's prep day, and when I say prep day, like I'm actually trying to get most dishes to pretty much 90 to 99% done so that tomorrow we can just focus on doing things like, I might even try and do the tablescape today as well actually, but things like the tablescape, setting up the guest bedrooms, giving the house a good clean and just not having to do any food. I will do the dessert tomorrow, but in terms of like main dishes, getting them all done today. I've already done a few things. Boiled some eggs for our deviled eggs. The one thing I'll say about our deviled egg plate that we got in New York is that every time I use it, I have to do 12 eggs. So even if you had 4 people coming over, to fill the spaces in the dish, there needs to be 24 halves. I mean, it's fine because even if there's some left over, I'll be able to make egg mayo sandwiches with it the days after, but I do forget that and I need some more eggs. Even though we've got chickens as well, when I do hosting like this, I just tend to blitz through so many eggs. Like I need eggs for this. I'm going to be doing a dessert which requires, I think I need at least 6 eggs for that. Our chickens are still laying quite small ones, and the dessert, it's like a meringue base, so I just don't want the ratios to be off, you know, so we'll have to get some more eggs, which is fine. I've also boiled some sweet potatoes, given them a mash, just put in a good amount of butter. If you want your mash to be great, salt and butter, an offensive amount. It does look bad and it's one of those things that you'll put it in and you'll be like, really, this much? But trust me, who was it? It's James Acaster. He said on his podcast, Off Menu, that the perfect ratio for mash is 50-50. 50% butter, 50% mash, like potatoes. I don't do that much, but I do put a good amount in. So I'm just boiling some more sweet potato because the plan with that is I'm going to hollow out the pumpkin and then the sweet potato mash will be served inside the pumpkin. This needs to be hollowed out tomorrow. For the deviled eggs, I'm going to do them as a red dyed one. So I'm going to make a brine for it first. We've got a load of beetroots here, like one bunch of beetroot, which is this much. I'm going to grate that into a pan and then we're just going to make a simple brine of water, vinegar, salt, sugar, cook that down for a bit and then add that into the boiled eggs so that they can colour overnight. Let's see how much this makes, but 3 cups of water to this. I'm actually going to times the recipe by 0.5, so I've done 4.5 cups of water. Is that right? And then 1.5 cups of vinegar. If you're doing a single amount of this, it'd just be 1 cup of vinegar, 3 cups of water. 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. This is a basic brine mix that I do, by the way, so I'm just reading off my phone and timesing it by 0.5. So a tablespoon, but in this case, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, and then a teaspoon, so 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm gonna put that onto the heat just to simmer a little bit. I'm trying to think whether to blitz this in the NutriBullet and pass it through a sieve before I put it in with the eggs. I think I might do that. So I'll put this on the heat first to just melt the sugar and just brine it up a little bit. Our pickle brine is done. I'm not actually going to blitz it because I realised if I just leave this to cool and then sieve it out over the eggs so it's just the liquid on the eggs, I think there's enough colour in the liquid already. I mean, look at the colour of that. And all of the pulp, because it's simmered for a little while, all that beetroot's going to be cooked, and it's also going to be in a brine. So I'm thinking I can probably jar that up and either have it for ourselves as like pickled grated beetroot, or I could put it into jars and give it as a little gift to everyone. That's probably quite a nice idea. I never thought about the fact that I might have loads of extra things that come from cooking that can double up as a little guest gift. We'll leave this to cool down. I'll see how much brine I have, because I'd ideally want to put some of the brine in the jar as well so it keeps it preserved. If not, we can make another brine. It's not that hard. I love that idea. I've also started sieving through the mash. I need to get one of those mashed potato ricers, because at the moment I literally just put mashed potato in a sieve and just pass it through to get it smooth, which is quite a job. So I'm doing it in stages because I'm doing it, getting bored of it, doing it, getting bored of it. We'll leave this to cool down. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to make some breadsticks in the shape of snakes, and I might put some activated charcoal in some of them are black. There's a recipe that I found on Dove's Farm, and I love Dove's Farm flour, so I trust this recipe, I think. Oh, again, I could give that as a host gift in a little bag. So maybe we can make some as the snakes because I'm going to do a black bean hummus. So it's like a black dip. And then maybe I can just have some of the dough as crackers and put those into little cellophane bags for the guests as well. Oh, I love this. I love that we're trying to find different ways to use up some of the things. So I do over cater when I host. So if I can give some of it away in a nice little like gift bag, that's a cute idea. 500 grams of strong white bread flour. Get the KitchenAid out for this one as well, I think. 1 teaspoon of quick yeast. I have no idea if this yeast is actually okay and still alive. I've kept it in the fridge. I do have sachets, but I think a sachet would be too much. I don't think a sachet is going to be 7 grams. Let's see, a teaspoon, how much does that weigh? 3 grams. So if you had sachets of yeast, it would be half a sachet. And 1 teaspoon of sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt, but put it on the other side of the bowl to the yeast so it doesn't kill it. I'm going to use some of our smoked salt as well, because I think that would be a nice additional flavour to the breadsticks. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2, because I do think that sometimes breadsticks need more seasoning. So 2 teaspoons of salt. We'll find out if that's too salty. And then 325 ml of tepid water. Dough hook on. Give that a mix. And then drizzle in the water, and then we'll just make this into a dough. Okay, got a dough. I'm going to take half of it and just transfer it to a tray. I'm only doing this because I want to put some charcoal in the other half, so some of it is black. So into half of it, I'm going to do, 5 grams of activated charcoal. Put that back in and mix that together. Black dough's mixed, and I'm just taking off bits of the dough, rolling them into long sausage shapes. I'm gonna do some in the shape of snakes, so I'm just going to curve them around a little bit on the tray. And then some I'm going to do as just normal breadsticks, because those can be the ones that I can put in a little gift bag for everyone. So that's what I'm going for there. A little check-in for you. I have started on the pie filling, just a little bit of butter, olive oil, chopped onions. I've also got some chopped leeks that I'm going to add into that. I've done a pathetic job at browning off the chicken thighs, but it's fine. It'll all taste brilliant together. And then also around here, so these are how the breadsticks have turned out. They're more of a soft breadstick than a crunchy one, but I really like the little worm ones. Worms? Snakes. I've got just the black batch in the oven there. So I'm going to finish off the pie mix. I'm going to add in these leeks and cook them down. Then I think I'm going to add into this a load of seasonings. So we can probably add in some Dijon mustard. Oh, this is a smoky Dijon mustard as well. So I'll add that in there, some white pepper, black pepper. I've also got tarragon. So I'll chop up the tarragon and add that in. What else should I put in flavour-wise? I think that might be it. I don't want to overcomplicate it too much. Leeks in, then we'll add in some tarragon, mustard, and then I'll put in some flour to thicken it and a bit of stock. Chicken back in, and that should be the pie mix done. Exciting delivery What's this?
Dry ice. That it should last until tomorrow because you have to use it on the day or the day after delivery. So. And we'll try it later. Little pellets, and then you pour stuff over it and it creates.
So you get that misty look when you pour something over, but it's really, really cold. It's like minus 80 degrees. How much did it cost?
This is 10 kilograms, costs about 40 quid.
Oh, 10 kilograms for 40 quid, okay, fine.
You can buy 5 kilograms, it costs sort of 35 quid. And I was like, well, I'll just get 10 because more of it, the less likely it is to thaw.
Fair enough. So that's exciting. We've never played with dry ice before. The idea is for the welcome cocktail. So we'll have the punch bowl and then we'll put dry ice at the bottom and then pour water over it and it'll smoke on the base. Should be quite fun. Pie filling is all done. I may have been a tiny bit heavy-handed on the tarragon, but I think it'll be fine once it's like combined with all the other flavours of the meal. Just leaving that to cool. I've also put a coulis on, so I've just got some, this is for the dessert. So there's another food content creator, I think her name's Alexandra Dudley. She has shared before on her Substack a really incredible chocolate cake. It's almost like a flourless base, kind of gooey brownie like with a chocolate coffee meringue top to it. So I'm going to make that for dessert tomorrow, and Lawrence wanted to have kind of like bloody looking coulis to go with it. So I've just got 2 packs of frozen raspberries in here, and then I added a cup of water. No, sorry, a cup of sugar, 6 tablespoons of water. And I'm just letting that cook down, and I'll whiz that up, sieve that through, and then that will be the sauce that can go with it. I just want it to reduce down a little bit and thaw out. And then the next thing I'm going to do is make the pastry for the pie. So I want this to be a standalone pie, not one with a top on. I'm going to use one of our silicone cake molds, essentially bake it in that and then lift it out of the mold and it be a pie. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I have done it once before and it did work, but getting it out of the mold was a bit of a stressful situation. So I think this time I'm going to make parchment strips around it and then someone can help me lift it out of the mold. I think that's the plan. So for the pastry, and this is gonna make a big pie as well, I'm gonna do 480 grams of plain flour. Oh, and by the way, the mash, so good. If you're a sweet potato lover, or even if you're not a sweet potato lover actually, I think that kind of mash to have on the side of a roast, with like still with your roast potatoes, would be so good. The little bit of nutmeg in it, delicious. It's like sage, butter, nutmeg, smoked salt, that's about it, but it's so good. Okay, 480 grams of the flour, and then I'm gonna do 120 grams of fat. I've just got this one here, but you could use the basic lard that's in supermarkets. And we also need 120 grams of butter. So this is cold and cubed. So I'm just going to spoon in some of the fat bit at a time. And just having the mixture of both fat and butter is going to give this a really beautiful, flaky pie crust. 120 grams of cubed. I'm going with salted butter. 125, that will be fine. Okay, let's put a sprinkling of salt in as well. I mean, because we have the salted butter, you don't need a huge amount of salt, but just a little bit because obviously the fat doesn't have any. And then this can go into the KitchenAid. I'm gonna do it with the paddle hook. Once it's combined into like a sandy texture, I'm gonna drizzle in some ice cold water, around like 3 tablespoons or so, until it becomes a dough. Like that, and then I'm just going to put that in some cling film and it can go into the fridge to chill until the filling is cold enough to construct it. Right, we are almost there. The only thing that I've got left to do is construct the pie and also make the pasta and the filling for the starter. We're gonna do like a Beetlejuice kind of pasta, striped, green and white. Pasta is super easy, so it should be quite simple to do this. For the green element, I've just blanched some spinach and put that into ice water. I'm gonna blitz that in the NutriBullet in a second to get that into a paste. But the ratios are simply 1 large egg to 100 grams. And a large egg is normally around like 55, 60 grams. So 1 large egg to 100 grams of 00 flour. And typically it's that per person. So I'm gonna do 300 grams of 00 flour and then 3 eggs. I'm going to put that in the KitchenAid and just mix it into a smooth dough, and it can go in the fridge to chill down. There's our first pasta dough, and when you put your finger into it, it should spring up and fill that hole again. I'm gonna wrap this in some cling film and then let's do the spinach one. 175, perfect. So we'll add in 300 grams of 00 and then intermix. Green dough all done, that can go into the fridge to chill. I think that can be a task for Lawrence and I later. We'll sit at the counter, open up a nice bottle of wine and make the pasta. For the filling, I'm gonna keep it really simple. I've got some soft cheese, just like kind of Philadelphia situation, some feta and some goat's cheese. I'm actually just gonna put that into this hand blender, blitz that up, put that into a piping bag and that can be piped in. We're gonna do like tortellini shapes. So it'll be like tortellini. Oh, something I do need to make probably tomorrow or today actually. Yes, I can do this today too, is a chive oil because we're gonna do that tortellini. I think we're gonna do like a beurre blanc. So just a butter sauce, very simple, and then that's going to be split with some chive oil, which is super easy to do. You literally just in a blender put chives in and a load of neutral oil, vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, blitz it and then pass it through a sieve. That's it. Into the fridge, filling done, and then the final thing that I'm going to do now is construct the pie. But I wanted to be done by 4 o'clock and I've taken like little bits of time here and there the Freddie's flour delivery came, so I arranged some flowers for about 45 minutes and obviously just took my time with certain things, but I'm pretty much on track to have everything done as I wanted to. So we'll finish these bits up here and we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Last night, Lawrence and I actually didn't crack on with doing the tortellini because we just decided to do some final bits of prep. We did get the spare bedrooms ready, actually. We decided to do all that then. This morning, I've got on and started doing the tablescape. This is what we're looking like so far. I love this so much. This is how the pumpkin is going to be served. Going to be a little bit careful with the candles and all of this fake cobweb because it's going to be pretty flammable. But almost there with that. I just need to finish with the roses. I don't know if I showed you guys this or if I showed it on Instagram stories, but Lawrence has made all of these labels literally with brown tape and has cut them all out, designed all of them for all of the bottles that are going on the table. So we have pickled beetle, full moon bream, demon blood. I think Lawrence also wants to put some red food colouring in the water so it turns red, obviously. This one is poison. And we have one over here, snake venom. What's that say? Venomous. Oh, that's like Latin, I think, for spider. So like venomous spiders. And then witch's tonic. He's done such a good job. And I put crows on all of these twigs. I do need to sort some of them out because they are falling over. You know with crows when it's like 1 for sorrow, 2 for something. I looked into it and there's 7 for secrets. So I've got 7 crows and they're amongst the table. And then Lawrence is doing, he's turned the garden into a graveyard. Do you want to show them round?
So I've made a little graveyard in the garden. So I mowed the lawn into little grave shapes and I've made all of these little tombstones with funny names on. This is Empty Tomb and there's Poltergeist, Anita Shovel, I'll Be Back. And then I've also made all of these little zombie hands that are going to come up from the grave, and later on there's going to be some flowers in here to make them look like actual graves, although don't look at the back because I didn't do the back.
Show them the clue one.
Oh yeah, and this is the clue one where the guys later are going to have to come and have a look out here. Maple Harrow, creator of the Harrow Bloom pattern. I think it looks really cool. And later on there's going to be, when it gets a bit darker, we're going to put candles out so it will be lit up and it will look very spooky.
So that's been Lawrence's little project that he's been doing. It looks really good. Like, Lawrence is a graphic designer, so this is his bread and butter. This is what he's really good at. But we've actually, we've had a power cut and I've got quite a few things I needed to crack on with prep that require the ovens. And I don't obviously want to go into the fridges because then it'll start to lose temperature. Apparently, according to the Facebook group, it should be back on at 1 o'clock. It's now 11:30. So it's fine. I'm going to carry on with the tablescape, film a few other things, but it's kind of like a waiting game now to see when the power comes back on. Fingers crossed it is 1. We've got the dry ice open and it's in this. How much did you put in that?
Like this tiny spoonful.
It bubbles as well. That's so cool. But you're supposed to like leave it to completely stop smoking before you drink from it. Is that right?
Well, the guy on the phone who works for this company said don't put it in your drinks.
Because it's just too dangerous.
It's just not a good idea. So we're going to put it around the bottom of that bowl.
Someone did say, because I need to show you guys, I showed this on stories and TikTok, but Lawrence picked up this amazing punch bowl. We've been after for a little while one of those punch bowls that has all of the glasses around the edge, and it's just one of those ones that like we haven't really tried to find because it's, if we found it in a charity shop or a flea market or a car boot sale, we would just like buy it. It'd be a nice thing to come across. We don't need to be searching for it. But for this dinner party, we thought, oh, should we have a little look on Facebook Marketplace and see if we could find it? Lawrence found this, which it's like a cake stand, right? And then you've got the cloche that goes over the top. Really heavy, this is crystal. But then you can turn this bit, it's marketed as a, because it's like from the 70s, it's marketed as a 3-piece punch bowl. So you have it as a cake stand, or you can have it as this with prawns around the edge, which is still a very fun idea. And then the final thing is that you then get the cake stand bit, turn it upside down, and then it becomes a punch bowl. I feel like now, when we have dinner parties, we've already got our lovely deviled egg plate that we use. I feel like now with every dinner party, deviled eggs have to be done, and now punches have to be done with every dinner party.
So many different punches as well.
So many. We're doing a really fun one. We're literally just using up loads of stuff. But someone did say, that Lawrence did say, oh, we could put the dry ice here, and then it... Can you hear that? That's madness. And then it would smoke under. But someone did say on my stories that could cause the glass to crack. So we're trying to think what else we could put. You want to put this...
I'm going to put that in there and then some dry ice.
We don't want that to like that crack. It'd be so devastating. This is a lovely piece. How else could we protect it?
You could put them in put the dry ice in something else.
Yeah, what could it go in?
I don't know. What metal things have we got?
Yeah, metal's probably the best bet right now. Or silicone? I don't even know. Alright, so we need to kind of work that out. But how fun's that? We love this. So good. Tablescape is all done as well. I am just so obsessed. All of those glass jars filled now with some food colouring. Menus all out. I think I'm going to now do the dessert. That's like the last bit of food prep. I do need to do the tortellini still, or we need to do the tortellini still. I'm kind of procrastinating on that because I don't really know how to do it. Black hummus is done. Lawrence has done that.
Yeah.
Like your normal hummus, but instead of chickpeas, we've used black beans. And to make it a bit darker, because it was more on the grey side, I've added in, Lawrence has added in some activated charcoal. I want to say like a teaspoon worth or something.
Yeah, probably half a tablespoon.
I'm going to crack on now with the dessert, which is that flourless cake with a meringue top to it. We also have some leftover chocolate custard that I'm thinking I'll put in between the meringue layer and the chocolate cake layer. I'm always intrigued with these hosting vlogs. Do you guys want me to actually say the recipes that I'm doing in terms of we'll weigh it all out together and bake it or cook it? Or are you happy with me giving like a loose, this is what I'm doing, and then I can link if I'm using an actual recipe by someone, I can link that recipe below? Let me know, because I'm always unsure whether to actually list out all the ingredients when there's a full recipe that you can just click to yourself. Okay, so this is Alexandra Dudley's flourless chocolate and coffee meringue cake. I've done it before. It's phenomenal. It's so good. This is the final outcome, and then we'll have that chocolate custard layer in between. This is the task I've been procrastinating the most about, the pasta. So I'm thinking I've already put the attachment on the KitchenAid, so what I need to do now is make the stripy pasta and roll it through. Get my bench scrape, and I'm going to take a bit of dough like that, and my thinking is I'm going to roll this into a sausage shape and then do the same with this one. Let me bring you here so you can see. And then I'm going to join them together like that, and then that can be passed through. Maybe they need to be skinnier than that. Maybe I'll just stretch them out, because obviously this is going to get bigger as it goes through the machine. But that's my thinking. I'm going to do that. It's always the way, isn't it? It's like one of those tasks that once you get going, you're like, oh, don't know why I procrastinated on doing that for so long, because it's actually working out to be quite fun. So this is what we've got here. I'm going to flour this. I think it's the right thickness to be able to go through the machine without having to roll it out. I might give it a small roll out so it doesn't get stuck. Oh my God, the KitchenAid attachment is so good for this. So I'm going to go in a couple of times on this level, which is like the biggest one. Then we'll take it down. The next one. I'm going to carry on taking this down and make it as thin as possible. Pasta's all rolled out. Just cut it into strips. Run water around the edge. Then you make triangle like that, and then push that down. Fold that over, and then a little bit of water on this bit, a little bit of water on this bit. Finger in. wrap that round, little swaddle.
Doing little finger, not.
I'm doing little finger, yeah. No, stop. Oh my god, that is so cute. Okay, I'm gonna get a Tupperware, put some semolina in it, and they can all go in there. I am so happy with this. Also, our cake's done as well, hold on. Oh my god, look at the cake, guys. This is insane. I don't know if you're ready, hold on. That's massive. I'm gonna do oven off, just leave that in there. Things have progressed. Lawrence is currently piping our deviled eggs, which look great. I think they're amazing. Happy with those. And then over here, we have our punch bowl with glasses all ready to go. We did some lychees yesterday, filled with cherries to look like little eyeballs that are gonna go in here, along with some gummy worms and a fake, like, ice hand. Couple of nibbles out ready, black hummus, breadsticks, table all set. Lawrence has lit all the candles and made all of, like, the pictures askew with all the cobwebs on it. It looks so good. I'm so happy with this tablescape. I think it looks brilliant. And I've also started putting all of the clues, well, they're all up. So this is one of the clues here that I talked you through. This is the appraisal letter for the butler saying that he's failed his appraisal, and underneath that, a poison cocktail recipe. So in the bathroom, there's another clue. Trademark Harrow Limited. That's there. One of the spare bedrooms, there's another clue. Bloody handkerchief here that I just put some fake blood on, and then I wrote the initials of this is the actual killer. Over on the banquette seating, there's the last will testament clue, so I've just left that on the seats. And then there's one in the snug and one in my office. I think that's all of them, actually. So in the snug, we have the scissors that have killed me. And then in my office, the letter here that goes to the rival designer / person that works with them, saying that they're going to be bought out of the business. So everything is ready. Dressed and ready as well, so this is my outfit. I love this dress so much. This is H&M and it was in the sale. Would have been like 70 quid, I think, but I think I got it for like 45. It's such a heavyweight material. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's one of those like love it or hate it dresses, I think. But I think even this for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, a wedding, wear it with like a really pop of colour bag, pop of colour shoes. Lawrence has got his Undertaker suit on as well. You've got a top hat that goes with it as well, right?
Yeah, top hat's a bit costumey. It'd be nice if it was, but trying to find a proper one of these, it takes like...
I think with all of it together, it looks pretty good. You've got a proper coat, all that kind of stuff. And then we're just doing a final bit here. This is the sauce that we're going to have with the pasta. So just cooked, like, bit of butter, shallots.
Onions, chives, white wine.
And then some mushrooms there.
Garlic and mushrooms I've like fried off for a bit of...
texture. Yeah. So this is going to be the sauce that we serve with the pasta, which is here. This is so fun. I'm so happy with this. So pasta here. Yeah, everything's all good.
Mr. Moon, yes, this is for you,
right
sir.
there. Oh, thank you.
It's information for the evening.
Instructions. My name is Vincent Clipthorne and I'm an antiques dealer and I'm obsessed with shears, apparently, so...
Said
there you
shiz.
go.
Hello, I'm Eleanor Graves. I'm a model and a medium, and I can hear the dead.
I don't know whether
Thomas Blackwood, you should know who I am.
Okay, everyone is drinking. We're going to do my prosthetic makeup because I'm about to be killed. Everyone's taking it really seriously as well, which is great. So I decided, I actually shared a video of this on TikTok and Instagram of me doing it with this putty, but I'm also ordered this, which actually turns out to be so much easier and quicker, and I want this to be fast. I don't want to be taking a long time. It lasted a really long time on my neck as well. So a little bit of spirit gum first. I'm just using this one here on my neck, and then also I'm going to put it on the back of the prosthetic as well. I'm just going to put this on like this. Okay, and then we just use some acetone to melt away the edge of that. I'll link this kit below as well, so if you want to do this, you can. You just run it around the edge. Okay, that's on. I'm going to go in with a mixture of black, purple and red. Just fill that gap. I would do this a lot better and a lot more accurately if I had more time, but I need to do this quickly whilst everyone's inside. Then we're going to go in with some of this congealed blood. Go in with some fresh blood like this. Okay, Done. Right, I'm gonna set you guys up. Okay, let's put you here.
Oh, good God. Oh, that's amazing. It's so good. Oh, it's dripping. It's actually dripping.
Is it?
Yeah. I just literally saw it drip. That's fucking fantastic.
Oh my god! She's had a drink.
She's had too much.
What an awful shame.
What a predicament.
What are we to do?
This is gonna spoil the evening, isn't it? Yeah, she's definitely. She's a goner.
Oh well, should we go have our drinks?
Who's cooking dinner then? Who's cooking dinner?
To Mr. Moon, on behalf of Miss V. Vale, we would like to thank you for your services over your first 3 months in the household. We regret to inform you that your probation's extended because you're shit due to failure of achieve standards requested by Miss Vale. So basically, you're rubbish. And you're rubbish at your job.
Give me that. You don't. No. You don't need to look at that.
Oh, it's just a cocktail menu.
Okay.
Then maybe read it properly.
Deadly poison.
No, this was a cocktail that I was thinking of making for her, but I'd never actually did it. I wouldn't go through with it. I've been working for the family for years.
How do we know you didn't go through with it?
Wow. She didn't die of poison. She died of something.
Oh, yeah.
Stabbed her in the neck.
The receipt says...
It said collected by friend of lot winner.
Have we found the
murder weapon.
The word weapon.
The word weapon.
Has
anyone seen the word weapon?
You think I would have killed him? We go, oh, by the way.
Like a double bluff though.
But she is.
That the murderer was Eliza. Now! Okay, I'm just taking off my prosthetic. I do need to get my spirit gum remover. That was so much fun. I feel like there are certain things that I want to improve on if I was to do it again. A couple of things that the guys said would be useful to change would be for the person who was the murderer to know that they are the murderer, and then almost the person who is organising it, they can have a little bit of a thing together so you can tell them all the plans beforehand and say, this is what's going to happen, these are the clues. And also for all of the clues, each person to know about one of them so that they can discover them, they can know if it's going to be a red herring. So you can say to one of the characters, there's going to be this clue, it's a planted piece of evidence, it's not real, it's down to you to try and convince people it's not real, and then same for real ones, because I did a lot of red herring ones, and I think the issue with the plot that I had is that there was no real set, obvious answer. This is 100% the killer. Yeah, there needs to be some definite way for people to be like 100% this is the person. Although we had this conversation that if you were to watch a film like Knives Out, you don't actually know who the murderer is until the last minute. So does everyone need to come to a straightaway resolution of this is 100% the murderer, or is actually the whole fun of it that everyone has their own ideas? I don't know, because I've never actually done one myself. I've never been to one. This is the first time, and I did all of this just using TikTok as research and ChatGPT as research. So who knows? It was still a lot of fun. I'd like to try it again. I think it'd be good to do this as the whole point of the night is to do murder mystery. We wanted to do this as a little bit of like we're doing the dinner party that we normally do with this group of friends. We wanted to be something a little bit different for Halloween, a little bit of a game, and Lawrence was really big on, he didn't want this to take over the whole night. So I think I would do this again, but lean into it. It be the whole evening, and then the person who gets murdered can then come back as a detective and help lead people into conversations and stuff that they're having. Really, really good fun. I'm so glad that I did it. If you've ever done it before and you'd like to recommend one, please let me know. But hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight and a little bit of inspiration of what you could do for hosting your own murder mystery. Great food as well. The starter was voted favourite by everyone. So we're all gonna get into our comfies now and go play some final games for the evening, and I'll sign off the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching another one. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I love doing these hosting vlogs so much. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.